Woo! Chapter 13, my first hobby. This is something about me that nobody in the family knows except Darlene, Kip, Ben, and now Erica, because she has been compiling my stories. My first hobby started when I was about 10 and ended at about 12 or 13 years old. I was really into Big Daddy Roth and Rat Fink. Rat Fink stuff and Big Daddy Roth memorabilia are still around today. There is also a yearly reunion in Manti, Utah for all those that are still followers or diehards of Big Daddy and his Rat Fink art. This is the backstory. Ed Big Daddy Roth was an American artist, cartoonist, illustrator, pinstriper, and custom car designer and builder who created the hot rod icon Rat Fink and other characters. Roth was a key figure in Southern California's custom culture and hot rod movement of the late 1950s and 60s. Before Ed became somewhat famous, he was a member of the Hells Angels motorcycle gang, a notorious group of mean and not so nice Harley riders in Southern California. Ed eventually left the group to follow his dream of building hot rod cars and motorcycles. He was an artist with a very creative mind for drawing cool looking hot rods. His skill at this became noticed, and before long, he had a following of hot rodders and wannabe hot rodder builders all over America. However, his notoriety soon took off with his drawing of his friendly rat named Rat Fink. It was in every hot rod car magazine in America between 58 and 65. At this early age, I loved hot rod cars, and Rat Fink was a passion that could be compared to Wes's attachment to Star Wars. Well, maybe not quite, but close. Most of my grandkids know my personal logo of a horse's head that I always draw on letters, cards, Ashley's pregnant belly, and Grandma's baptismal blanket. 60 years ago, I was drawing Rat Fink on everything. Big Daddy was the first person to draw artwork on t-shirts. It went wild everywhere and led to a new trend in t-shirt art, enlarged logos and letterings. Just like my horse head, I drew it over and over until I had it just right. When my Reagan cousins from Walla Walla, Washington came to visit one summer and saw my t-shirt with Rat Fink on it, they begged me to draw it on their t-shirts. Over the next couple of years, I subscribed to hot rod magazines and continued to build models of hot rod cars with paint strips and other designs on them. I also started to draw the Rat Fink in cars. Suddenly, my interest in Big Daddy and all his art began to lose interest with me. I had always been interested in cars, but I guess I had outgrown the Rat Fink. I had not thought much of this over the years. I assumed that Ed Big Daddy Roth eventually went the way of all the earth. Then the April conference of 2022, Darlene and I watching a KSL human interest story after the first session of conference. To my shocking surprise, the story was about the conversion of Ed Roth to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They went through his life story from Hells Angels to Rat Fink and his eventual move to Manti, Utah, where he bought a home that overlooked the Manti Temple. The story continued with his life's passion of hot rods and their associated artwork, and talked about how it had changed as a member of the church. They interviewed the missionary that had taught him the gospel and many other non-member friends of his over the years, people that knew him and had stayed friends through his entire life, told of experiences of his total dedication to the Lord and living the gospel. It was a wonderful rest of the story for me. I had fun remembering my Rat Fink days as a boy and how I couldn't wait for the mailman to come the week that my hot rod magazine was supposed to come, and many other memories. I love sharing it, all of it, with Darlene Pat, your angel mother. She encouraged me to include it in one of Erica's story-worth memories. Included are some of Rat Fink art that I remember and an example of how his art took on a new look after he joined the church. So here's Rat Fink here, and here's another one of Rat Fink, and another one. There you go.